Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's K-E-S-H-W-A-N-I, Keshwani. We're here because we want to prepare for the GRE. We have been solving GRE math questions out of this book here, the official guide to the GRE, the revised general test. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on top of page number 236. Turn to page 236 on the very top of it, and today is our lesson number 119. So here's what's going on. We have a line, and we are asked to find, question is, what is the equation of a line that passes through points -2 and -3 and points R and 1.5. What are its x coordinates and y what are its x and y intercepts? So basically we have to give the equation of the line, and we have to tell at the end what are its x and y intercepts. So let's get going. When we have 2 points, when 2 points are given, in order to find the equation of the line, what is used is a formula such as this one. We take one of these 2 points. It doesn't matter whether we take point Q or point R. It's simply y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. M here stands for the slope. And then we substitute the coordinates of one of the points, whether this point or that point. As I said, it doesn't matter. But the very first thing is that we have to figure out the slope of the line. So let's do that first. The slope, which is typically represented with the symbol m, equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, change in y divided by change in x. Change in y divided by change in x. So let's find out y2 minus y1. So here's your y2, 1.5 minus 3, 1.5 minus a -3. That's the change in y, and then this is your x2, 4 minus a -2. 4 minus a -2. Now if you were to do it the other way around, it wouldn't change anything. You will still get the same answer. So it doesn't matter which point you call starting point and which point you call ending point. It's not going to change the slope. Slope is slope. So 1.5 minus a -3 gives us a negative times negative is positive. So it's 1.5 plus a 3, which is 4.5. And at the bottom you get 4 minus a -2 is a positive 6. Multiply top and the bottom by 10 so that we don't have to deal with this bloody 4.5. I hate dealing with decimals. So we end up with having 45 over 60. 45 over 60. If you were to divide the top and bottom by 15, how many 15s in 45? 45 has 3 15s. How many 45s in 60? It has 4 15s. So slope is 3/4. The slope is 3/4. Let's put it back in here. Let's do it here. Y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. Y minus y1, let's use this one here, -3 equals the slope, which is 3/4 over x minus. Now since we use this one, you have to remember that that's the one we use for y, so that's the one we have to use for x also, minus x2. X minus a -2 will give us x plus 2. Multiply both sides by 4. Multiply both sides by 4. So we can cross out, so that this 4 drops out with that 4, and that 4 ends up here. So here we end up with 4 times y plus 3 equals 3 times x plus 2. That's it, that's your equation. We're not quite done yet, because equation of a line is typically written in what is known as a standard form. And a standard form is simply where y it's by itself and everything else at the other side. Everything else that you can find, you have to throw it on the other side, on the right hand side, and the y has to be by itself on the left hand side. So that's what we have to do here. 4 times y is 4y, 4 times 3 is 12, 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 2 is 6. Subtract 12 from both sides, so we end up with 4y equals 3x minus 6, because we have a plus 6 and a minus 12. Divide both sides by 4, and we end up with, I'm going to continue this part here. We end up with y equals to, divide both sides of the equation by 4, so we end up with 3x, positive 6 and a negative 12 is going to give us a negative 6 over 4. Let's separate it out. So it equals 3 over 4x minus 6 over 4 is same as 3 over 2. That's it. That's your final equation. That's our final equation. And that 3 over 4 that you see there, you see, this 3 over 4, the coefficient of x, 3 over 4, 3/4, is your slope right here. And that's our equation. That's what y equals to. So I'm going to erase this intermediate part and simply write down y equals that part. That's it. That's the equation of the line. We're done with that part. Okay? Now we have to find the intercept. Now before I go into intercept, what would have happened? What would have happened if instead of using negative 3 and negative 2, instead of using this one, instead of using, see, we use q here. This is using q. This part right here is using q. What would have happened if we had used point r instead of q? I'm curious. What would have happened? Let's find out, shall we? We're going to do the exact same thing, but this time we're going to use R. Or did we use R before? No, we used Q before. We use for Y1 we use negative 3, and for X1 we have negative 2. That's the Q. I don't know why in my notes I have written the other way around. So now we're going to do the same thing using R. So let's do it. Y minus Y1, Y minus Y1, we are using point R now. So for Y1 is 1.5 equals M, which is the slope, which is 3/4, times X minus X1. X1 is 4 here. And when we manipulate and solve this thing, we better get the same exact thing as that thing right here. Same exact equation from there. And if we don't, then something has gone wrong. Something has gone wrong. We should get the same thing. Let's multiply both sides by 4. And as we do that, this 4 drops out with that 4. And we end up with 4 times y minus 1.5 equals 3 times x minus 4. Let's open the parentheses. 4 times y is 4y, and 4 times negative 1.5. How much is 4 times negative 1.5? Well, 4 times 1 is 4, and 4 halves will make another 2, so it's 6, negative 6 equals 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. Let's see if we're getting the same thing or not. Let's continue. Let's bring the 6 on the other side. So 4y equals 3x minus 12 plus 6. 3x minus 12 plus 6. As you can see, this is going to give us this exact same thing. It's going to give us the exact same thing. 3x minus 12 and a plus 6. It's the exact same thing. And therefore it doesn't matter which point you use, it's up to you. You just have to be consistent. If you're going to use for the y coordinate, you're going to use from Q, then you have to use the x coordinate from the same point also. You can't go around mixing things. But that's the equation of the line. We are done as far as the equation of the line is concerned. I'm doing all the work that you see on the top of the page 236, even though they do not present it like that. They present it in a mumbo jumbo way. Now let's find the x-intercept and y-intercept. I need the room. I need a lot of room. So let's raise the top. What does x-intercept mean? X-intercept means the point where the line crosses the x-axis. The point where the line crosses the x-axis is where y is 0. X-intercept is where y equals 0. So we put in y equal to 0 in this thing. Put in y equal to 0 in this thing and we get 0 equals 3 over 4 x minus 3 halves. Bring the 3 halves to this side. In other words, add positive 3 halves to both sides. And we get rid of this one. And we end up with 3 over 2 equals 3x over 4. Divide both sides by 3 and you could get rid of this 3. And then multiply both sides by 4. And you can get rid of this 4. And what we are left here is an x by itself. And x by itself equals, I need the room, so we have to erase, we have no other choice. And x by itself is left, and x equals 4 over 2, which is 2. Which is exactly what they are showing in the book there, where it says x equals 2 for the x-intercept. That is exactly what they are doing there. X equals 2. Now let's find the y-intercept. Let's do it here for y-intercept. Y-intercept is where x equals 0. Y-intercept means the point where the line crosses the y-axis. For the point where the line crosses the y-axis, x is 0, which is very easy in here. All we have to do is plug in 0 here and we find it. Our y equals 3 over 4x, which is 0, minus 3 over 2. Well, 0 times anything is 0, so it's just y equals negative 3 halves. That's it. That's it. Those are our x and y intercept. Here's our y intercept, here's our x intercept. And now the final thing that the question is asking is for us to plot the line. Plotting the line is very straightforward. There are two ways we can go about plotting the line. One is the fact that they give you the 2 points the line goes through, which is very straightforward. They tell you that it goes through negative 2 and negative 3 and 4 and 1.5. We can do that, or we can use the intercept. I'm going to use the intercept here just so you can see, okay? So, x-intercept is where y is equal to 0. If y is equal to 0, we are on the x-coordinate and it goes through 2. 1, 2, it goes through here. That's our x-intercept, right here. And then y-intercept is where y is equal to negative 3 halves. Negative 3 half is same as negative 1 and a half. Negative 3 half is same as negative 1 and a half. So it's going to be 1, 2, it goes through here. This is negative 1 and a half. So this thing is where x is 0, y is negative 3 halves. And here x is 2 and y is 0. That's it, that's our point, that's our line. That's our line. That's it, we are done. This last part that I did where we plotted the line itself was not part of the deal. It is not in the book, they do not do that. That was just something bonus. That was it. There's quite a few geometry questions here, so we're going to do them one by one. Some of them are very tedious. As I turn the page, I see there. and but we have no choice because they are in the book. We have to do all of them because I don't want to skip anything. And soon, in a matter of time, we'll arrive at page number 243, where we will start doing the exercises. That's the goal. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow on day number 120, when we'll do the question that you see there at the bottom of the second half of the page 236. And we'll go from there. Okay, I'll see you then. Bye now.